All right, welcome, guys. Good evening. Welcome, Max.
Thank you for having me, my man. I'm really excited to be on.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Ooh, I feel some lag. Doo-doo-doo. I'm getting some lag over here. Sasha is lagging for me.
5G. What's going on here?
You're back now.
All
You should
right,
be.
so are we good?
I think so.
What was that? I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that
Is
was
it laggy
bad.
still, or are we good?
I think it's okay now. Maybe just a little. Maybe your storm's starting to hit your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell the kid to stop playing Fortnite or something.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's do this again. So let me welcome all of you guys. I know there's a lot of people who's going to be watching the replay. So I mean, still send those questions if you have questions if you're watching the replay. But basically, Forex Talk Over Beer, the concept is pretty simple. We're here to break down trades, talk about Forex, enjoy time, have fun, and have a little drink. You know. So yeah, so we didn't do a pre-show on Instagram, but we did. But I was short in time, so that's why I was late. I had a little snowstorm. So basically tonight I'm gonna be drinking A's of the North, which is a good title for tonight
Ooh.
because I was stuck in the snowstorm. And this is a double dry up IPA, and this is 8%. So let's go. So first thing first,
Fantastic.
let's pour that drink. So you're already ahead of me.
Yep, I've already got mine poured. I've got a Moretti, if people want to know what that is. A beautiful Moretti, my favorite.
Sweet. Yeah, those are really good. I sometimes get those at restaurants.
mm, Moretti and Peronis.
All right,
Ooh,
so we're gonna do the official cheers. So, guys, if you have a drink with you, get your camera ready, snap a picture, tag myself, tag Stop Loss Matter on Instagram. We will reshare that story. All right, so
mm,
at three,
the
we're
one
gonna
here.
do that. Cheers! 1, 2, 3. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Nice to be on the show.
All
Lovely stuff.
right, all
Have
right.
been.
So, so a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of people following you. They know you, but there's
Hmm.
some people that doesn't know you. So, what about
Yep.
giving a little intro on like who you are, like when did you
Hmm.
start trading, for how
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, so my name's Max. I'm from Newcastle in the UK, and I've been trading for around about 5 years now. So around about 5 years, I unfortunately got in very, very young, probably a bit too young. I started trading when I was about 16 years old, 15, 16 years old time. My dad kind of got me a bit hooked at the start. It was mainly on trading Apple stocks. Um, this is where I was looking for really because I really liked Apple. Love the technology, and what I realized was if I bought some shares in Apple a week before the keynote of the new iPhone event, prices would run like 2-3% in the week, and then I'd close. That's what got me into it, and I was very very kind of like, oh wow, I can sit on my desk and do this for like and actually make money out of it. I was like, bro, so I made a bit of money from Apple, and the first thing I did was buy a monitor, which is actually one of the monitors I still use here. I keeping it for nostalgic purposes. I bought that monitor, and then I bought a ring light sorry, a light that wakes you up in the morning because
Okay.
I wanted to get up to do the London session. This is at 16 years old, so I was quite passionate of it pretty quickly. Um, and then obviously, unfortunately, you go through the period of not being able to trade. You look on people on Instagram, kind of the scammer side, and I lost so much money in the space of like 3 years. I've been working since I was 12, so I had quite a lot of money, like paper rounds, just random jobs, restaurants, and I lost in this process around about £10,000. I lost 10,000 at a very young age.
Wow.
Um, and that was a big learning curve for me, obviously, very, very young.
How,
And
how old were you at that time?
So I was around about 18. So
Okay.
18, just turned 18. So £10,000 off the bat. not being able to trade, not being able to focus on my emotions, being scammed by people trying to get me into their groups and trying to teach me, but really couldn't teach me. And yeah, and then that's when I realized, I really wanted to learn this, but I couldn't have someone, didn't have anyone to help me with, and that's when I randomly just approached a kind of group on YouTube, and I never, no, it wasn't YouTube, it was Twitch. And I was looking for like 100 pip, 200 pip, 300 pip moves a day because that's what like they kind of show. Oh, we can make loads of this. And I just saw these little guys like getting happy and excited over 10 pips in a 10 pip trade. And I was like, why are these guys getting so, like happy about a 10 pip trade? And that's when it started. So that was Raj's stream on Twitch. And when I was around about 18. And then from then on, I watched every single live stream that Raja did for 2 years until
Hmm.
I didn't have to look at him anymore because my charts were the same as his, my entries were the same as his, and that's when I set off my own journey. But yeah, that's kind of the story coming up over here. And since then, normally like 18 to 21, I grinded. I used prop firms to gain my own capital, and now I trade nearly a six-figure account. Um, at 21, and yeah, it's beautiful. Started the London live streams, amazing. Now I do NY with my group, and that's where I'm here. So that's kind of the journey, but it took a lot of time and a lot of effort, but the main things that really helped me was watching someone else do it and show their consistency, and this consistency came when I saw they weren't taking as many trades as I was taking. At the start, I was taking like 15 trades a day. I realized it's about the quality, not the quantity. And emotions, all that kind of stuff, you need to get that sorted. If you don't get the emotions sorted, you aren't going to be here long, I'm telling you. So, yeah, that's the start of the journey. Now it's still continuing, and I hope I can do this for a long time because it is pretty good. It's very, very fun.
And how old are you now, if you don't
So
mind
I'm
asking?
so I just turned 21 in June. So yeah, like nearly
Okay.
gonna be 22 next June. So yeah, 3 years of consistent. So I actually started my Instagram to help people not get scammed. That was my kind of main thing. I wanted people to learn, like, guys, go to these people who can actually trade. Don't get scammed by the people who are just flexing on Insta and stuff. And what I did was just post my little account and showing, right, this is what I'm doing every single day. And what that really helped me with was people were liking my post, just like, not many people, like 5 people, 6 people going, oh, I
Hmm.
really like your journey. You're being really transparent, showing all of your trades on the stories and stuff. And it gave me a kind of it gave me a bit more consistency because people were watching me, so I couldn't overtrade. Because if I put my trades on in the day in the story and like, Max, why did you take 15 trades and you lost like 4 trades in a row? So it gave me that kind of thing where people were looking at me and I was like, oh shit, so I need to do this properly. I need to learn how to do this properly, and that's how it really started with the Instagram. And from then it just grew and people were happy. I did £100 account. I've documented it on my stories where I said, right, guys, you can really do this on a low account. And
Hmm.
when you've got the consistency, you can put the money in. And I started with £100. It's on my story. I did it for around about 2 months, 3 months, and I made like a 30%, 35% return. But that was from me risking 1% every single day, looking at 2 trades a day, basically, and showing you can be consistent even in a small account. So, and
That's
yeah,
really good.
I love the Instagram. The Instagram was a massive learning curve for me, like getting on it and people watching me. Yeah, really helped out. So I advise people on here, not even just being like a trader on Instagram, just document your trades, because if you get that one like, you're like, shit, they're actually watching me. Even the YouTube live streams, just do your own live stream, because people, now I do. I have loads of people on for London. If I take a silly trade, it never happens anymore. It never happens because everyone's watching me. If I can't explain every single part of my trade, why didn't it get in here, then you're going to get absolutely rinsed. So you have to
Yep.
be completely on fleek with stuff like that. So even start your little own YouTube channel, trading. You just say, I'm a shit trader, I'm just learning, but I'm going to try and go over here. Don't copy me, but I'm trying to get consistent and better. And yeah, like that's what I advise people to do for sure.
Ah, you know what? I'll be super honest. It definitely helped me too. Because
Mm.
I mean, you're accountable. I mean, you have no choice. You got people watching you, and that people is gonna copy trade. It's for
Yeah.
that for fact. And you want to make sure that what you're gonna be doing makes sense, right? So
Mhm.
I'm with you on this. I encourage people to do it.
Hmm.
Not like some other mentors who will say that don't do this, you're gonna steal my people. I don't give a shit. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I don't care that in the slightest.
yeah. I'm sure you got that. I'm sure you got that from some people.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't really affect me, you know. They
Yeah, I don't give a
no.
shit. You
Credits to
know.
everyone. I like that. I like how, especially like this kind of family we've got, like with everyone. It's nice to just have a nice tight knit group. I speak to Ted quite a lot. He's dead nice to me, and everyone's been pretty nice to me from the start. To be honest, I haven't had
Mhm.
much hate at all in the slightest, because I don't need to. If people do rise up to it, then I'm like, well, I trade live. If you don't trade live, I don't really want to talk to you, to be honest, because and it's all on the plate. People are like, what's your win rate? Well, bro, go look at my YouTubes. I've got
Yeah,
200 videos.
exactly. I'm the same. I'm the same. And don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I personally, I don't know about you, but I'm personally not doing this to prove anything to anyone.
Mm,
Just like I got nothing to prove. I don't give a shit. I mean,
mm,
you like it, you don't like it. I mean, to be honest, I don't give a crap. So
yeah.
I'm doing it. It might sound selfish, but first of all, I'm doing it for myself, and after that, I'm doing it for the others who wants to learn.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true. I really, the one thing that I do find really passionate, is I'm known for my discipline. So like, if I don't have a perfect setup in one of my setups, which I'll show you in a sec, actually, all my setups that I have that I just made on a Zoom. If it's not perfect, I ain't getting in. Like, and I'm really, really consistent with that, and that's why I try and get to people. It's about being disciplined, hand on heart. If you don't have the discipline, and you just, oh, maybe I could get in this trade, and then just impulse it. Like, no, like, you need to stick to your strategy. And one thing that really helped me is when you get to the charts, I always tell people, when I was starting to learn when I was younger, I'd be looking for trades, right? I'd be looking and be like, right, oh, this could work here. Now I sit back and the trades come to me when the setup comes. So I just sit there and go, right, I'm waiting for a close here, and I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna wait for the lower wick to form. When we start flipping, I'm gonna enter a stop loss below, and that's all I do. I wait. I go, exactly what I'm entering now, and when that setup comes to fruition, and you actually do get the closure above, I know exactly when to enter, and it's pretty simple from there. But don't try and search the trades. Look for your setups and wait until they come into fruition and then enter, for
yeah,
sure.
and you know what? It's funny because there's a lot of things that you do. It's really similar at what I do because I think we came
Mm,
from pretty much like the same place. So maybe
yeah.
do you want to touch base on that? Like, where do you
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
from? Who do you learn from, and
Yeah,
this and that?
so for me, I'm always transparent with who I've learned from. So Raja, I used Raja's strategy in his closures above and below. I know he doesn't really do it much anymore because my guy just puts 100 lot on gold and somehow runs 200 pips. But when I used to learn from him 2 years ago, very much closures above and below zones, especially on GJ, he was really
Yeah,
consistent with closures. So I used my marking my zones and closures above and below as Raja. And then I also learned a lot from Ted, and Ted was a bit more technical. So he'd be like, right, the hourly candle's closing now. I'm going to wait for the hourly candle to close. I know that the next hourly candle makes quite a big top wick to start off with, and then when we start flipping, we've got the drive down. So Ted made me get a bit more focused on the entry point. So he always used to say this phrase, um, the best trade you can be in is a trade that has zero drawdown. And I am known for most of my trades now, I have zero drawdown. The most of the time, I have barely any red on, like at all, because I get in on the flips of the candles. I get in
Mhm.
exceeding highs when they've all made the lower wicks. And that's true. If you've got a massive account, like the best trade you could be in is a zero drawdown trade. So most of my trades, I try and time pinnacle so they're in profit pretty much instantly. Um, so I learned from the entries of Ted and hourly closures and waiting for flip of the candles on Ted. Um, and Monty had lines. Monty had 4 hour lines, daily lines.
yeah,
I use them lines as well. So if you look on my YouTube, I'll mark a chart on it in a sec later on. But yeah, I have a daily flip. I have a 4 hour flip. I like keeping an eye on the higher time frames because Ted also talks about that quite a lot. And like one of my rules is, unless sometimes in very niche circumstances, but I want at least a 4 hour with me most of the time. If the 4 hours not with me, I'm a bit scarce to get in because I like sticking with the trend of the higher time frames because they do prevail in this in the sense most of the time. Um, but yeah, I learned it from loads of people. Controller FX as well. Controller FX is really good. Controller FX, I've used him for buy stops and sell stops. So I really use buy stops and sell stops basically every trade now. I barely enter.
I don't know him too much, to be
Yeah,
honest. The only
he's
thing I
really
know
really
is from
nice.
Raja was saying he was copying him, but I know it's
Yeah.
probably
Well,
not
he
true. But
probably nah,
it's
he probably copies him in the way he trades, but my guy is
I mean, we all
I
learn
wouldn't you?
from someone, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, Raja learned from Ted, so can we say
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
copying Ted? You know, just like
Yeah.
so, it's kind of the same thing. People's gonna say
Nah,
I'm copying Raja, copying. You know, yes, I'm the first one who say I'm taking a little bit of everyone and doing my own
yeah.
thing, right? So,
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, everyone learned from someone somewhere,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
make your own strategy. Like I say it like to people who learn from me. You know, you can also adapt and change. For example, on GJ, I don't want any stop loss bigger than 12 pips. If it's bigger than 12 pips in GJ, I won't go in. I like it tight stops. Um, GA, it's 15 pips. Gold is 20. So you know, it's kind of a range just from back testing, seeing how big GA normally has bigger wicks than GJ,
Oh
etc.
yeah,
etc. Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Most of the
G the
time,
bitch,
anyways.
bro. G loves to
Yeah.
put you in drawdown, man.
Yeah. um, but yeah, I think I've learned from a lot of people. But the main thing and the way to learn from people out here is 100% just go to a live stream and listen every single day. People on my live stream have learned absolute bags of stuff. And mainly because they turn up every single day. And what I did before I kind of went, you know, by myself and I knew what I was doing. Every single morning before Roger started his stream, I marked the chart up. I said I want to buy above here, I want to close just below here, and every single day, no, without fail, he'd be marking up the same chart, exactly the same as me. So I go, you know what, this is pretty easy now. And then when you do the repetition, you do the same time zones every single day. It gets easy. I literally now have absolutely zero worries when I get on the charts. Because it's just easy now. It's the same thing every single day. I look for the same patterns every single day and I execute on them. It's great for sure, for sure.
Were you in Raja's mentorship?
No, so I never bought anyone's mentorship. All I did was on the live
Okay,
stream. Yeah,
that's it.
that's all I needed to know.
Oh,
I had this live
did we
streams
lost
and
connection again?
no, they were good.
Oh,
Um, oh, there maybe I see a little lag. My guy's he's on over here. Snowstorms coming through his. I should come back in a sec, I think. Do. Oh, I'm seeing the chat here. Nice. Welcome everyone to coming in. Jeez. We'll see if we can get Sasha back over here. I'm pretty sure I'm still on. Sip sip while Sasha gone. Oh yeah. I'm excited for the Christmas time though. Remember, guys, when you're coming towards these times, especially the end of December, just chill out. Don't be taking too many trades. But December has been very, very nice for me. We'll see if Sasha can come back. There we go. Oh,
I don't know what's going on. First time
okay.
ever that does this.
There we go.
I
We're
have
back.
no clue what's going on. And I do apologize. I mean, I'm actually in my wifey's office, so I don't know
Mhm.
if it's that. I have no clue.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. That's true. That is true.
So sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so I mean, so you were saying you never bought any mentorship, right?
No, I didn't feel like I needed to. I mean, for people who needed that and maybe didn't have the time. So I was at uni, okay? So I had a lot of time. So I could be on his streams every day from start to finish. So I could gain quite a lot from that. Whereas people, if they've got jobs and stuff, you're gonna miss a live stream, and it's rubbish. Really looking at a live stream the next day, like you know, you're gonna skip most of it, aren't you? It's not live in
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
So for people who don't have that and they need a bit more webinars and stuff they can watch in the weekend, for sure, like the mentorship is the way to go. But for people who go in with live streams is the thing to go because it's the repetition every single
Oh
day.
yeah, of course.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, the YouTube live stream was pinnacle for me. I used to be sitting there, like, oh, I really want to take these trades, but I'm gonna wait like Raja. And then, yeah, as time went on, I was like, bro, this is not bad anymore. Like at the start, I'd have adrenaline, no matter how much money I was trading on. Like sometimes I'd be trading a lot of money, I'd have adrenaline. Because when you do start getting into trading, it's the adrenaline of, oh, is it going to win? Is it going to not win? Is it? You have all these emotions, and now I don't even have any emotions on anything. It's great. Like I literally couldn't give a crap. All I want to do is be correct in my analysis. My MetaTrader has no money on, so I've got a small account which is linked to my big account. I don't have any of the money on. I literally can't see any figures until the end of the month when I withdraw and change my lot sizes and stuff. And I just treat it like a game. It's great. Just a
Yeah,
fun
no,
game.
exactly. So we got Ian here. It's amazing how people think a good trade is sitting in a trade for 4 days to make 100 pips. If you can constantly make 5 pips here, then 10 pips there on a daily basis, that's consistent for me.
Yep,
Yeah, it is. You know,
very
I
very
mean,
true. I'll go through some things later on, which is really, really interesting. Of some of the prop funds, some of their statistics, really, really interesting, and it actually makes the way we trade even more like advantageous because all of the stuff they went through. So it's more my Forex funds. Someone sent me it in Telegram in my group, and some of the things they said on there, like they said, if you had 3% drawdown or more in a day, no one passed the challenge. No one. So even if they have 5%, you have a 5% thing. If
yeah.
anyone, if someone risks more than 3% in a day, they didn't pass the challenge out of 5,000 people. Like that's
What?
mad. Yeah, dude.
That's massive.
So they said yeah. These are big things. So that's why I say, 2 losses a day out, is going to be the max for me. I probably won't take a third one. And that's one of our rules. They say that people who hold trades overnight or over weekends always lose, like really, really low percentage. So we don't do that either.
Yeah.
Um, there was
No, but
loads of stuff, really, really interesting.
especially with the economy right now, like how is it going? Like
Mhm.
swing trading is just like, dude,
I
it's
don't know who.
harder
I don't
and
know one
harder and
person who
harder.
can. I don't
It's
know
just like
one person who can trade swing trading.
like
It
swing
doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't
like
make
s-
sense.
swing trade right now is just like, I mean, there's one news about Omicron's gonna go out, and your trade's going to drain. Just like gone to the
Yeah.
toilet.
Yeah, I
You're
know, and you
just
could
like,
be on it. You could be in it for 3 days, and then one news, and then it doesn't hit your 1 to 3 risk to reward, and then it just goes back to break even. Like what?
bam.
That was a waste of time. Yeah, I know. It is mad. I don't get it. And so sometimes on stream and stuff, I will get into a trade where I have like a 6 pip stop and I gain 12, 15 pips. That's a 1 to 2 risk to reward. But some people don't realize the difference between it's just percentages. So if I have a 50 pip stop loss and I gain 100 pips, if you do the percentages right, you've made the same as me risking a 6 pip stop with a 12 pip gain.
Well,
And
yeah.
people really need to get that into their head because on paper on Instagram, oh, I caught 100 pips, great, yeah, great. If you had a 10 pip, 20 pip stop, that's delicious. But if you had a 50 pip, 100 pip stop, that's exactly the same as me having a 5 pip stop and a 10 pip stop. So, yeah, the swings right now are very, very. I don't know one person who can make that work out, but yeah, I mean, if they can, then good for it. Another thing that my Forex fund said, they said if there's high volatility, and this is in their own words, if there's high volatility, so news basically, it's a bloodbath. They said that.
Of
They
course.
said that. I was
Of
like, oh
course,
my god.
Max. Like
Yeah, I was
people
like,
get all
bro.
excited. It's like, oh, this NFP, yoo-hoo,
Yeah,
let's put a
yeah.
buy stop and a sell stop. It's basically
Yeah.
telling, let's gamble.
Yeah, it
Like,
is. Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's true.
insane, bro.
I
Like
know.
NFP, dude,
I
get the
know.
fuck out of there.
Especially people on like funded accounts, like, bro, like, I would not be doing that because if you get slipped like 20 pips on goal and then a
You're
run,
done.
like, bro, like that's just
You're
yeah,
done. You're done.
yeah,
You're so done. So I mean, even not that. I mean, it's crazy. Like
yeah,
news, yeah. I
yeah,
always say to people, wait for the storm to pass
yeah. I
and
always
get
say
it.
half an hour.
You
I
know,
always say kind of half an
wait
hour.
for the storm. Like, let's say you're about to go on a boat, and they announce like a huge storm, like a tsunami. Would
Yeah,
you go on the boat? No.
I
You'll wait
know.
for the storm to pass, and after that, you'll get on the boat, right?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly,
same fucking
exactly.
shit with trading.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like
I
people
just
drink
watch
too
it.
much sometimes.
I just watch it. I enjoy it. I get the spreads up on my meta trade and just go, right, let's
Yeah,
see
me
how big
too.
the spread can go
I'm like,
today.
woohoo, 8 pips. What? This is
Yeah. A
exciting.
couple
I'm
of
getting
days ago,
popcorns, you know.
yeah, a couple of days ago, GG had 6 pip spread. And oh my god. God damn.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's take a look at a couple comments, and after that, I got questions for you.
Yeah.
Um, I do link. I don't know what's that question. Okay, blah blah blah. Yeah, my friends laugh when I talk about 10 or 20 pips win, but I still do better than them. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely,
All about
definitely.
percentages. It's all about percentages. I take 10 pips every single day, and last week I made 8.8%. So
Man, you got some fans here. Sasha Max is the best London streamer in
yeah.
the game. You got some
For the
massive fan
boys.
here.
Hey, it's a big community. I've got a lot of fans in London, I'm not gonna lie.
That's good, man. Swing trading is okay, but you need patience. That shit could range for 3 weeks, kill you with swaps commission, and then FOMC comes
Yeah.
out and you stop with losses from your swaps. Yeah, man. Hold on, give me 1 second. I got something going on with my dogs here. Never. God,
I need to get my dogs out. My house is full of dogs as well. I love
yeah, I
dogs.
got 4.
Yeah, we've had 4, unfortunately 2 of them died like this year, so it's been a shame.
Oh,
But
sad to
they
hear.
always come. We always I like having like 4 dogs in the house. That's just good. It's a good number.
Yeah, 4 is
Yeah,
good.
I couldn't have one. Like, oh man, and they one needs a friend.
One is boring.
Yeah, exactly. The more the better.
All right, let's see here. I knew we had something here. Let's see. I think I missed the question here. That was pretty good, but
Yeah, send some questions,
whatever.
guys. For sure, for sure.
All
Send
right,
some
but
questions.
don't forget to smash the like button, guys, as you come in. All right, we're gonna go break down some trades pretty soon. I just want to go with some quick questions.
Mhm.
First of all, which is I think you probably covered that already, but what's your main pair?
Yep, so my main pair is GJ. GJ through and through. It's my baby. I caress it every single day.
GJ and GA, you said?
I'd say GJ.
GJ.
I've only actually put into my portfolio this month or last month, is it? Yeah, maybe last month. So I back tested it for 3 months.
You are
Uh,
trying to see my story, right?
Bro, I was seeing your GA. I was like, I need to get in this shit. I was like, so I said to the group, I'll show you guys how to backtest from start to finish. And I say, you know, backtesting on GA, just do it live. So every single day, mark up your chart, see, oh, buys above here, close, sells below here. And if it happens, you go, great. This is another trade to add to the journal. But yeah, GA, I don't really trade. Sometimes it's quite rangy and doesn't move anywhere like GJ.
But
GJ, if
I have to say, I'm gonna cut you out. Sorry, man.
Mhm.
But I have to say, GA saved my ass this month and last month.
Mhm.
Because GJ was mostly rangy. I don't know
Mhm.
about London session, but in New York session, it was mostly rangy.
What do
Um,
you mean this? You mean November?
yeah, November was
Yeah,
pretty
November.
horrible.
November
Uh,
was rangy.
yeah,
I
it was
gotta
rangy, and GA definitely saved my ass on that one. But
mm,
the thing with GA, I mean, if anyone looking to trade GA, I'm gonna give you this. Just understand that looking at 15 minutes and 30 minutes will fuck you up. Because I mean, there's a lot of fake outs on GA.
yeah.
So I do a lot of trades based on H1
Mhm.
on GA, and I do accept the fact of being in a drawdown for 15, 20 minutes.
Mm,
Um, oh yeah, I would wait.
wow.
Let's say I enter on a 30-minute candle. I will wait for that 30-minute candle to close against me to get out of that trade. Because on GA, most of the time when it went against me in the first 30 minutes, the second part of that 1 hour candle, it goes my way. Um,
Yeah, that is true. I get a lot of break-even trades in GA, to be honest.
yeah.
I do get a lot because I normally because they have bigger wicks, I normally wait for a big top wick, a big bottom wick, and then when we start flipping, I will enter. And it does have a bit of drawdown compared to GJ, but yeah, I think you have to be in the trade a bit longer in GA for sure.
Yeah, I have to be a little bit more patient for sure. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But yeah,
Um,
GGA is my baby. It shit runs too nice.
yeah,
Is my
GJ is
favorite.
awesome. When GJ movement, fuck, there's
Yeah.
no reason to look at something else.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, George got some. Labradors. Okay, nice,
Oh
nice,
wow, Labradors,
nice. All
nice.
right, Labradors are nice dogs. Is a real vibe. Can't wait for mentorship in the new year. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, let's go.
LL
Actually
Sasha
loves it.
loves a GA dogtail. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, you need to
Dogtail
tell me
set
about
up.
this dogtail. Is dogtail what I call the just the flip, the wick at
Yeah,
the top? Yeah, man.
mostly. What I do is I wait for that tail to form.
Hmm.
I just, because of the brand FX Dogs,
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wicked. It's a good name for
just
it.
branded like
Good name.
cute. And what is it basically? I just wait for that tail to form.
Yeah.
And when I break the high, this is where I get the entry, not on
Mm,
the flip.
okay.
Um, on the
So my
flip, it's when I do on the flip is when I already have two confirmations. If I already have
mm,
two confirmations, I'll do it on the flip because I don't need the extra confirmation.
yeah,
If I
that's
only
fair.
have
That's fair.
one confirmation or confluence, call it as you want. If I only have one confirmation, I will wait for that extra confirmation to break the high.
So for me, I'll either go in the flip or exceeding the high, depending on the stop. So if I can get the flip, if I get in on exceeding the high, if I can get my 10 pip stop exceeding the high on the previous 15, I'll do it. But most likely it isn't that. Normally it's like 15, 20 pips. So instead I'll get in on the flip because it gives me a 10 pips. Because I keep to 10 pips. 12 pips is maximum on GJ. Um, and yeah, it's quite, it's a really good thing of waiting for the top wicks and bottom wicks because as we know, if you go into any time frame in any chart, there's an 85% chance it's going to make a top wick and a bottom wick. So wait for it to form first. Don't get entered when they haven't made a big one or not a big one, but a bottom wick or a top wick. I miss a lot of moves where price will close above, I'm ready to enter, and it runs off straight away. But I also miss a lot of fake outs that a lot of people get into. So I'd rather
Mm.
do that. A lot of people get forced into taking that impulse of making no lower wick, and then they get smashed. It happens all the time in London, and people get
Oh
hurt.
yeah. The only way I would get in without a bottom wick, let's say you're looking for a buy, the only
Yeah.
way I will get in to a buy without the bottom wick is
Mhm.
if I was watching the candle prior to his close and I know that in the last like seconds or minute, it was pushing really hard to the upside, but
Yeah.
it just didn't have any more time to continue.
To
So the
continue.
new
Yeah.
candle opened up with so much volume that it was
Yeah.
pushing right away. So at that time, it's like, fuck that bottom wick, I'm in,
Yeah. That happens in
That's the
London
only
quite a lot.
that's the only way I would get into a trade like that.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
so for you, if you trade GJ, for example, when do you put like your stop to break even? When's a measurement, or do
for
you have
me,
one, or is it dependent?
okay, so for me, the way I do it is I'm super how can I say that? I got a method and I'm like I stick with it, right? So
Mhm. Yeah.
basically what I did is I open up my magic key and I put auto break even. I click on auto break even, it's set
Yeah.
up at 11 pips.
Ah, okay. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my auto break even's at 11 pips, my partial TP is at 15.
Hmm.
Okay. So the reason why is when I was following Raj's mentorship, I was always looking for 10 pips.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 pips, 10 pips. The problem with that I found to myself is a lot of the time my losses were almost equivalent to 10 pips or
Mm,
just a little less, right? So
yeah.
I was winning, winning, losing, losing, winning, losing.
Yeah. Like kind
I
of
was
break even
battling
out.
like in a
Yeah.
neutral phase, right? So I went out on my journal, and that is the key thing, guys. You need to fucking journal your trades. Journal, 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 journal. So
Yeah.
I went back on my journal, and I was looking at every wins that I had, and I realized that every time it went to 10 pips, it was actually going at least to 15.
Mm,
So I was like 80% of the time. So I was like, you know what? Let me put my break even at 11 pips, and if it goes to 9 pips, I'm gonna put it manually, stop at
yeah.
break
Yeah.
even. If it goes to 9, 10 pips, I'm gonna put it to manually to break even. That's fine. But I'm gonna put my auto break even at 11 pips, partial at 15. So like this, I know that my stop loss always gonna be like around 10 pips,
Yeah. Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
12 pips. And if I win at 15, here we
It's looking
go. I'm
good.
profitable, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
For me,
that's it.
that little thing was that was dude, that was such a game
Mm.
changer. That was
Yeah, that's
such a
true.
game changer in my game plan.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
So for me, it's quite interesting because most of my losses, most of my losses that I've taken when I started the mentorship on GJ have been around about 7 pips. So I use the 5 minute to close half.
Oh,
So I use quite a lower time frame, and I put stops to break even at 6 pips profit because I want to get in on the push, and I hate candles going into 6, 7 pips profit and going into drawdown again. I hate that. So man, I'm at break even pretty much instantly in most of my
oh
trades.
yeah, yeah.
So
I did that for a while though. I did that for a
yeah,
while, and I realized though, and if it's great if it's working for you, and that's amazing.
mm,
On my side, I was finding that I don't know, I was like kind of choking my trade a little bit, you know,
yeah. I could see that. I
especially
could see
with the
that.
volatility of the market these days.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know,
yeah,
but yeah, you're right, mate. I mean, break even is fine, man. You didn't lose any fucking money, so
yeah.
perfect.
I preach break even trades. That's one thing I learned from Ted as well. I go, Ted, how many break even trades you have, especially in gold? He goes, fucking loads. He
Oh yeah,
goes all
I'm
the time.
sure.
And I go, yeah, that's what it should be, especially with gold. You want the push, especially with the flip of the candle, like seeing the low. You want the nice drive down. If you don't get it and it starts to fanny around near the entry, bro, I'll be out break even for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's interesting. And it's funny how everyone makes it, adapts it to the way they trade. So yes, most of my take
exactly.
profits is 12, 10 to 12, sometimes 20 if I want to hold it on. And yeah, I use the 5 minutes to get out for sure. Yeah, I don't remember the last
So
time I
do you use the 5 minute to get in also?
no, no, only on gold. I use the
Yeah, me
five.
too. Yeah,
So I use the 5 minute on GJ only to close 50% only.
but do
Um,
you think? And I'm gonna play the
mhm,
how you call it, the evil
mhm,
advocate, whatever. I'm trying to
mhm,
find a word, but
yeah.
do you think that if you're not using, let's say, the 5 minute to get in, but you using the 5 minute to get out, why is that?
Because the 5 minutes, it's not 5 minute candles, by the way. It's zones. It's zones that I
Okay,
see. I don't want price coming back in this zone. Now we've left the zone and I want it to continue now with a push. If we come back in that zone
now
here,
that makes
there's
sense.
and I shit you not, every single time, if price comes back into this certain zone which we've left, I lose a trade every time. So I'll say, close half for pretty much instantly when we tap in that zone again. And it's normally when it flips back, to be honest. It's normally when I get the push, the 15, the 30-minute candles are bullish, the hourly's bullish, the 4 hours bullish, looking good. The 15-minute maybe it may have 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left. I don't want that candle to flip now. Look to the 5 minute time frames, and I always, and it barely, to be honest, it barely, um, it's always about the zones, and it barely when it comes back in. It never comes back into profit, so I normally cut. I I think it's because my entries are so consistent now with the push and the drive. If I see any sort of hindering, which I'll go through a trade in a second, how I did that,
But
I want to
you're a
be out.
momentum trader, and that's why.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
I want that push. And if I don't get that push, I'm not sitting there going, well, we haven't exceeded the previous 15 yet, so I'm still going to hold the stop. I don't like that. I like the push. And if I feel that momentum is, not giving me the right kind of push that I want,
you're out.
for sure, I'm reducing my stop. And I'll go through an example which I did on YouTube from start to finish. I had a 9 pip stop at the start. Then I said close half at 5 pips, which is in the 5 minute zone. Then I said, right, guys, the trade's not really going well anymore. It's still hindering around my entry point. It's not looking good anymore. Doesn't mean it's not wrong. It hasn't exceeded any lows or anything, but I'm not liking the way it's moving. So I'm going to move my full stop loss now to 5 pips. So I'm always tightening. If price is not moving the way I am, I will always tighten the stop for sure. That's just a way I've came up with it, and then it ran to TP eventually. But yeah, I'll show you that in a bit.
That's
Um,
awesome. And you trade gold also that I saw
yeah.
recently, right?
So I trade gold. I trade gold normally when GJ is looking like ass. To be honest, that's the only kind of time I really look at it. When
Which
GJ's
is all
ranging,
November.
when GJ is like when GJ looks like a barcode you get in a supermarket, then
Yeah.
yeah, bro, I look at gold. And gold has some good moves. normally, it's through kind of support forming, resistance forming. I like getting in a bit early instead of like breaks of lows and stuff. But yeah, I do like trading gold every so often. They are pretty nice. I do like it. Nice little gold push.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, gold's really like I love to trade gold now these days, but it's all momentum trading. I
Yeah.
love the break of H4 or H4 high or H4 low. I
Mhm.
love this. So I just want to say, hey, what's up, Clay? We got
Hi,
Charlene
Clay.
on. Hey, Charlene, what's up, girl? Do you ever think you will change your pip goal to catch more than 10 pips on GJ? Oh, that's a
Oh,
question for
good
you.
question.
Oh.
Good question. So I mean, I can show you my trades in a second, but it depends on the zone. So if the zone's bigger than 10 pips and I have enough momentum, I'll happily hold that bitch until 20 pips, 25 pips. And then I always leave a little bit of a runner on, maybe a 10% runner, a 15%. But because my win rate's so high, so I've got all the proof here. I'll go through our MetaTrader. My win rate on GJ is pretty fucking high. So in the past 19 GJ trades, I've won 17 of them. Um, so my win rate is so high that I don't really care much about the pip game because my pips, on average, my pips are around about 10 to 12 pips, and my losers are around about 6 to 7 pips. So I've already got that gap anyway. And my win rate on GJ is 80 to 90%. I don't really give too much about the extenders. And most of my trades, and the reason why I haven't changed this is most of my GJ trades get to around about 10 to 12 pips and reverse. That's just how it
Mm.
is. There'll be one or two times in London where it runs 30 pips, and I'm bagging, I'm holding the bag for quite a long time. Last week we took a GJ sell in NY and ran 23 pips in 5 minutes, so I held the whole thing. Um, However, a lot of my trades do reverse after 10 to 12 pips. So it would be silly for me to hold 15, 17 pips because it just reverses. So that's kind of why. Don't know how it is. Maybe I should hold it for a bit longer, but most of my trades at 10 pips do reverse. So that's why my runners, unless I see really higher time frames starting to break critical levels, I'm going to be closing most of my position for sure. Runners for me, and it's not a kind of money aspect. The runner for me is a psychology because if someone
Mhm.
goes, "Oh, why didn't you hold that on? It ran fucking 200 pips." Like, oh yeah, maybe I should have just held on a little bit just to be in the trade a bit.
Yeah, I think runners, you're definitely right, and you touched on a good point there. I think runners is there to build confidence.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to do a lot. I used to do a lot of runners. Now these days I hold more, I
Mhm.
hold more. I used to close 90% of my trade around like 12, 15 pips, Now these days always 15 pips. For me, it's like always 15 pips minimum. Close
Mhm.
like 60, 70, 80, 90%, depending on the setup and how much range I got.
Mhm.
But these days there's a lot of trades I actually didn't took anything at 15 pips. I just let it run because I knew that I had range, and I gained so much confidence in the past years or so that now I'm able to hold.
Yeah.
But I think runner, you're definitely right. It's a best way to build confidence. Best
Yeah.
way.
And it's the experience as well. Like, if I'm trading GJ in my zone that we're coming into, so like I always talk about different zones. Zone one is the zone it's in right now. If you get closures above and closures below, we're gonna go to zone two. And if zone two is a big range, 50, 60 pips, I'ma hold that bitch on because there's good percentage. If I'm trading quite a small range and we're coming to a higher time frame support or higher time frame resistance, I'm going to close the whole thing really, because I don't think the percentage chance of me continuing the trade is going to be as much as the runner. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm good, Clay. Thank you. The accent is pretty cool. Stop loss matter. Love it.
Iron Man in
Love
the building.
it. Max, we have London in the morning. Hey,
Yeah, don't tell me about it. It's in 6 hours time or some shit. God
that's all
damn.
good. We're gonna go for another drink. Let's go. Shot, 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 shot.
Yeah, finish
Everybody.
finishing off the London streams tomorrow will be nice.
Let's see, let's see. Gold is wifey. I'll catch 30 pips with a 15 SL and works one live
Mm,
fully. There we go.
for
I'm
sure.
actually gonna be able to wake up for 7 a.m. Oh,
Well, have I ever
everyone is worried about you, man. He's young,
have I
man.
ever missed one before, bro? I'm
This
dude.
guy is so young, dude. He
Mate,
can go to
I
bed like
still
at
party.
6 and wake up at 7.
Bro, I still party until like 3 a.m. and get up
There
at
we
7. Come
go.
on.
Come on, come on. It's not his first rodeo. Come on, guys. How do you guys deal with the emotion of closing a short-term scalp and then you see it run another 40 pips, for example? That's a
That's
good one. And when you answer that, I'm gonna run, grab a beer,
Yep.
and after that, we're gonna break down trades.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, how do you guys deal with emotions of closing a short-term scalp? Then you see it run another 40 pips, for example. These things happen very, very rarely, to be honest. And most of the time, I will have a runner on to catch most of that position anyway. But it's all about the process. I don't care about the money aspect. It's the percentage. And if I gain, 1.4%, because I risk 1.4% per trade, if I gain 1.4% and it runs another 40 pips, that's tough shit. I close my position. I'm not really too focused on that. Sometimes I'm quite happy and go, oh, my kind of target was right. We've hit a big resistance here. But I'm not. I wouldn't really get that annoyed with it, to be honest. When I was younger, I did, and I'll try and maybe re-enter. Um, but now, I really don't too mind about things running off. And even if so, I'll leave literally literally 1% of my trade on just to catch the little thing. Maybe put like a tiny lot on just to catch it. But it's mainly for FOMO. But yeah, the emotion side it should be intact. I'm telling you now, if you haven't got your emotion, if you have to think about certain emotions when things happen, you're not there yet. Most of my students that I talk to now, I can still tell some of them have emotions with it, and it's either because they've got too much in their account that they're risking, or they're not too happy with the way they are trading right now. And the emotion side needs to be eradicated pretty fucking quick, to be honest, because it will hinder you. It will be the only thing that will defy you in this game, and you will leave this industry if you don't get emotions right. Okay. I'm telling you from experience, you have to get that sorted. But when it comes, and then you have the discipline, the emotion side all on lockdown, the sky's the limit, really, to be honest. For sure.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so quick question. Who's your favorite trader and who's your worst trader? That's gonna
Oh,
hurt.
I'm not gonna do worse. I'm not gonna be out and out anyone. I'm not
Let's
in
start
that.
some
I'm not.
shit.
I'm not starting beef. My greatest trader, the one that I find most interesting, is Ted. Ted is my boy. Ted, the way he trades, the way he gets in, the way he knows every single hourly candle what it's going to do because he's just back tested so much. I've learned a lot from Ted and his entries. Um, and yeah, he goes from the 5 minute to the daily pretty much instantly, and all the knowledge. He basically creates a story every single time. That's what I try and do now. Create a story. What's the daily saying? What's the 4 hour saying? What's the hourly saying? And get a full picture, and then it makes it a lot easier. And like I remember being on Zoom with him, and he was going through his trades, and like just the way he would take trades is just mad. Like you'll take like 3 break-even trades in a row, break-even trades in a row, and he still have the discipline to sit there and go, you know what, that's the end of me now. I missed the move. If you missed it, it's like what? It's like mad. So, um, he made me really, really get into break evens. I take break evens all the time, and I'm like, bro, that's fine. When I was younger, I hated that, man. So probably Ted, and obviously Sasha in the building as well. Sasha with his
Come
GA
on.
trades. And worst trader, probably I'll just say my brother.
Oh, nice escape on that one. Oh, wow. That's a nice escape on that one. Ooh, how this is a crash course on how to dodge a question, guys.
Mate, I'm
Uh,
PR tested. I'm media trained.
that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. All right, so last question before we go break down those trade.
hmm
Um, um, what was your biggest win and what was your biggest losses?
Okay, okay. So my biggest win, not monetary, well, because monetary just changes over time. Like now, my
Yeah,
10
yeah.
pips, my
Just
10
yeah.
pips is a 7 lot, so it's like it's big now. But like my biggest win at the time, I was in uni class. I was in a finance lecture, and I just saw gold starting to melt. And I was like, right, I'm gonna get in this bitch. And I got into a trade. Bear in mind, I was still, not the best trader. and I had it on. I had some sell stops on. I was like, right, great, this is going to be pretty good. And this is when I was trading properly. I wasn't over risking. I think I risked around about 5%. Sorry, not 5%. Jesus Christ, around about 2% on this position. And gold, I shit you not, dropped like 300 pips. And I
What?
looked at my phone in the lecture. I was like, holy shit. I was like, I'm going to buy a car. I was like, eyeing up a car. I was like, oh, me. Like, if I get like 2 more grand more, I'm going to get this car. So that was probably my biggest win. And so in my account then, so I risked 2%. It ran 300 pips. I had like a 20 pip stop. So you can tell how much that would have been. But yeah, that's a once in a blue moon. I never go for 300 pips now, really. But yeah, that was probably my biggest win, 300 pips on gold with a 20 pip stop. And that was just a melt. That was through COVID.
That's a pretty solid trade, bro.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And my worst trade, oof, I wouldn't even class a worst trade, but a situation that can really, really, especially when you're younger, can really fuck with you. And it's when you're trying to find the high. Okay. Holy shit. I praise the Lord. Everyone, if especially GJ and gold are trending, holy mother of God, please, for the love of God, do not go the opposite way. It will fuck you in the ass so hard. I'm telling you. Try not. So if GJ's bullish and it's bullish on every other time frame, but you've had 115 bearish or 130 bearish on a huge daily bullish candle, for the love of Jesus, please don't sell it. I'm telling you, because you are gonna get twatted so hard. And like you'll be doing it all day, like, all right, maybe this is the high. Let me take another sell. Maybe this is the high, and you're looking like, oh, maybe I can get this 100 pip drop again. Love of God, don't do it. So be one day probably that blowing an account, full account, yeah. I think I've blown probably around about 6 accounts in the space of those starting like 3 years, 2 years. Yeah, that was the 10 grand gone, which is mad.
Wow. I think we all did that, like trying to be a hero and call a top
Yeah.
and just sell it, you know?
Well,
And
it's just the human that like I looked a bit like human psychology. I mean, I'm not obviously a master in it, but I read like a book about it, and it is really interesting how incapable humans are at trading. That's why it's so hard. Like the greed, the emotion side, the taking positions off when you need to, like taking a loss. Like for you to manually take a loss is such a big stepping stone. So for me, taking off 50% is such a good way of showing your discipline, because most people will wait until it hits your stop. Okay, most people will be like, "Oh, I just want to stay in the trade," but like it's not going well. That price is coming straight, gonna twat your stop loss, but you don't close early. So yeah, it's mad how humans are just not inept to do trading, and that's why it's so hard on your brain. But it's very rewarding if you can do it properly.
oh, definitely. All right, man. So we are here. So let's break down a trade. So you mind
Yeah,
sharing your
beautiful.
screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a
Let me
trade
just
which
check if we
wasn't.
have some last question very quickly
Yeah,
first. Let's see here. When I was max age, I can do two. Oh, okay.
when was my?
Oh, we got Charlene here. Where do you see yourself? Oh, that's a good one, Charlene. Thank you. Where do
Wow.
you see yourself 1 year from now on your trading journey, and do you trade full time?
Yes,
That's a good
so
one.
I see myself in a year's time potentially. So my gains this year have been pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Some months I've been hitting, 40%, 35%. So my account, because I only take out a certain, because I live at home, so my expenses are low as shit right now. I'm saving a lot of money, but I'm also compounding. I'm barely taking any money out of my trading account. And then, every single month, if I'm up 30%, I'll take out maybe 10 and then leave the 20% in and move the lot size 20% because, I know I'm consistent every month now. So I think, so I'm nearly hitting 6 figures on my account, which is really, really good. My plans for a year's time is to be the #1 London streamer, but I think I'm already that, to be honest. I've only got
Oh,
UK
look at
to
this
London.
guy. Let's go.
I actually would
Okay,
love
so
to.
what about Monty then?
Monty doesn't trade in London anymore.
What?
Monty
I didn't
doesn't.
know that.
He trades with his group, but not on YouTube. So
Oh, I see.
he's out the window.
Oh, I see. I see.
And also, to be honest, I am the only trader. So there's 2 people who do live streams in London, but I'm the only one who actually does a trade, as in like I go, I'm in now. I've bought now. Here's a stop loss. Here's the entry. Most people go, oh yeah, I got in here like 30 minutes ago. I don't give a shit if you got in 30 minutes ago. You haven't taken a trade live. Like
Yeah,
it's all well and good going, oh, I got into gold fucking 3 hours ago when price is down here. Now it's up here. Like, where's your proof? Like, but anyway, yeah. So I want to be transparent with all that. Next year, I think I'm going to be doing transparency on my big account. So I'm going to be putting in my whole thing. And the reason why I haven't done it now is for tax reasons. I've kind of, I've had to get an accountant to sort me out or stuff like that. So I want to show
dude.
my full.
Let me tell you. All right, you don't have to show anything.
To
Okay?
be fair,
Dude,
yeah,
this is a thing where you can get yourself into big fucking problem.
yeah,
You can show some stuff there and there, but dude, I mean, you don't have to do it. You don't have
yeah.
nothing to prove. You trade
Yeah,
live.
that's true.
And you know what? The only person that I know that was super transparent and showing everything, I mean, he left the country like in 48 hours. You know,
Mm.
he sold his car, rent his house, and he fucking left the country.
I
So
think the reason why I want to do it, not specifically for the trades, mainly my account. So like showing you the difference. So if you go on my Instagram, you saw my gains when I did the £100 challenge for like 2 months. 35%. But people can't really see how big that is in a big account. So if I have £100,000 account and I'm making 30% gains every month and showing you 6 months progress of a 100K account, if you 30% gains every month. It's huge. Like, the potential is massive. So
good.
that's why maybe I'll just show the account size
Don't
every
get me
month.
wrong, it's good, Max. But
Yeah,
but you don't have to do it. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I know you're. Now I sound now I sound old, but I know you're younger, and there's a lot of people who wants to, you know, and I know what you want to do. It's for the best. You
mm,
want to show like
show
the
people. Yeah,
truth, right? So, but you don't have to do that, and you can
yeah,
put yourself in a shit lot of problem.
yeah,
On my end, I don't show shit, man. I mean,
mm,
it's just like because I don't give a shit, dude. I trade life, dude. I mean, it's just like
yeah, yeah,
so I don't give a shit, dude. Can you imagine? I didn't withdraw any fucking money this year,
yeah.
zero.
Zero.
You know why?
Mm,
Because if I do, it's all going to government.
yeah, that's true.
Because
Yeah,
my salary is really, it's in the highest bracket. So
hmm,
I mean, if I get any more money in my house,
yeah. It's
like
40% gone.
what's the point? Just
Yeah,
like
it's
I'm
true.
fucking leave it out there. Just like
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Well,
For me,
that's
it's
when
like
you. Yeah, that's
placement,
true.
right?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
let me tell you, I mean, the more they know about this, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's
anyways,
true.
you do whatever you want. That's your
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
This is a really good
So
question, Charlene.
Charlene also
By the way,
said, "Do you?"
guys, if you
She's
don't follow Charlene, you should give a follow to Charlene on Instagram and YouTube. Also, she has some amazing content.
yeah,
Um,
she did a great podcast last time. It was a good listen. I did like it.
yeah, she's amazing.
And
She,
to answer that second one, do you trade full time? Yes, I trade full time now, full time. And so so there was kind of two ways. So I finished uni. I got a maths degree, massive finance. So I had options to go into like accounting and stuff. But what I realized was that the money I'm making right now compared to people in the same stage as me, if they were going in. So I was looking at jobs like 30 grand a year. Like, compared to what I'm making on my account and everything going on and stuff, it's not even like it's not even like 20%. So it's kind of there's no point of me doing that, to be honest. So yeah, yeah, full time. It's pretty easy, but the thing is, it's quite hard. I do two sessions a day. So morning I do London, NY. I do NY as well. So I'm on streams for 4 hours, and then I do content. So it's a full day, to be honest. I am pretty knackered at the end of it. But yeah, it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
yeah, it's good. Traded with a pack. Why did he leave in 48 hours? Oh, you gotta ask him. He's never gonna answer that.
Oh.
Anyways, I'm block of Slack now, so I mean,
Oh
whatever.
shit! Fair.
What can be
Damn.
worse than that?
Damn.
And I do shit. Whatever. Hashtag FX no drama. All right, so um, let's see. Can follow Charlene if we don't know where to follow. Oh, it's basically Charlene FX. So Charlene FX on Instagram or on YouTube.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
this is a great interview. Good stuff, guys. Thank you so much, Charlene. You very, very appreciate.
Yeah.
Hugo here. Hugo has a question. How did you develop your psychology? Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh, it's a good question. So there's a lot of different ways. I've actually just done a webinar on that with my students. The one thing that really helped me with my psychology and emotions is so the human brain normally likes to forget about hard times. It likes to try and forget about a shit time. So when you take a losing, when you blow a count, you feel like ass. Okay, you feel horrendous. People around you start to notice you're down because you've just blown a fucking account. Like you're gonna act down even though you try and hide it. And then what you'll do is you'll try and get your confidence back in the next couple of weeks, and then you'll forget about it, right? And have you actually really, really strengthened your psychology? Probably not. And then you do it all over again, and you end up in the same place feeling like shit. So this is when I really started when I was younger, and what I realized was, there's good things in what's it called? Marking and journaling your charts, but what about your emotions? So for me, I had a trading journal. I've still got it here to this day. I mean, I don't really write in it anymore because I don't need to, but I have just me in a pencil writing saying I feel fucking garbage today, lost my full account, feel like shit again. And writing it down is such a big thing because you'll go back to it and read it and go, shit, I remember writing this. Like I felt fucking garbage. Like, and as time goes on, you go, you know what, I don't want to do that again. But having the kind of emotions and you writing it on a piece of paper really, really helped me. Um, Other things about emotion, I mean, a lot of people go, how can I stop over trading? How can I stop revenge trading? It's in the fucking question. Stop over trading and stop revenge trading. Okay.
That's a
It's
good
it's
one.
in there. It's a lot harder to put it into space, but that is the be all and end all. No matter how many fucking books you read, if you don't want to stop, if you're gonna stop over trading, if you can't stop over trading, sorry, you're not gonna work it. So it's kind of just doing that realization. Are you in here just to fanny about and try and gamble, or are you actually gonna really learn this properly? And I said to myself one time, I love doing this. I'm passionate about it, so let's just do it properly. For the love of God, I don't want to do any more blown accounts. Um, and yeah, I kind of just went for it. It's hard being tough on yourself, but it will just flip to you one time and go, you know what? Why am I taking another fucking trade today? I've already taken 3 losses. Just leave it. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard teaching people about psychology, but it has
Yeah.
to come from you really. Like yeah,
Okay, so I mean, dude, it's such a good vibe, and I really appreciate you taking the time, by the way, because I know you got to wake up early.
no
but
bother, no
but
bother.
and we got trades to break down.
Mhm,
But I definitely want to know what was what was your moment? The moment that you say, "Hey, you know what? I can do this shit." You know,
mhm.
or when did you realize that, man, I can really make money with this?
Yeah,
And you
I,
stop second thought yourself. So what
yeah.
was that moment?
I think it was probably around about a year ago, to be honest. I think it was a year ago where I was like, shit, like this is really the deal now. Like this is like the bees knees. Like I'm starting to make consistent gains every single week, month. So it's probably last year, in like sorry, not last year as in this thing. So when I was 20, um January. So maybe like yeah. So like 2020, I'd say January time is when I did a nice good 6 months of consistent gains every single month. Is when it clicked for me. And I'm like, shit, like this is I've got my strategy now. The plan is set in stone. I'm not changing anything. I'm not doing anything. All I need to do now is focus on really minimizing my losses. So it was at that time, probably like a year. So like January 2020 is where it clicked to me, where I was consistent for 6 months and I was making this shit work. And that's when you started seeing the figures. And that's when I actually joined Fun and Talent. So people don't know. I mean, Fun and Talent now, they boon gang. But anyway,
Well, I was a huge promoter also, so
I actually used them to my benefit for around about 9 months. So, my money didn't come out of anywhere. Yeah, I've got a lot of money now. But what I did was I had a 50,000 for the talent account, and I didn't care about the live. I didn't really care about because I never really understood about this giving me the live thing. What I liked was they were giving me payouts every 2 fucking weeks.
no,
So
exactly.
I was like, holy shit. So I was like, let me do the maths over here. Got my calculator out. I was like, shit. So if I make 4% every single week, so that's 8%. They're gonna give me 8% of this 50 grand account. So obviously it was 1% of that, but anyway, 10% of that. But anyway,
Yeah.
8% of that, and then in another 2 weeks it'd be 16. They give me that because it doubles. They didn't just reset it then. I was like, shit. So in the space of 9 months, I gained like quite a lot of money from that. I was making like two grand every like end of the month. So I got a grand halfway through, 2 grand at the end, and I did that for 9 months. So that's how I actually gained it.
And I remember you sent me some question about it at first, at the beginning.
Yeah, when it just started, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because Sasha, you joined it." I was like, "Bro," so
Yeah.
that really helped me. So I like that bi-weekly payout. I didn't have the stress of like the live account and losing. I was like, I paid my monthly fee, and I just made my 4 to 5% a week or sometimes more. Um, and then yeah, got all that money, shoved it in my own account, and then traded it from then. So yeah, that really helped out.
There we
But yeah,
go.
it was
That's
good.
good.
Yeah,
Good job, man. Good job. Good job. All right. So now let's do. So I'm gonna let you start with your breakdown, and after that, I'll do breakdown a GA trade from this morning. So you
wicked
can
stuff.
start first.
Yep. Okay, I'll start first. I'm first of all going to show you my my thing over here just to get the thing up. Share
Hold on.
screen.
Can I do? Wait a second. How do I do this? Can
I think
you
it's
can you share? Do you have the
yeah,
button?
yeah,
The option to
yeah.
share?
I think
Okay,
it's working.
perfect.
Right, is this running now? Okay, good.
Give me one sec.
There we go. So if I get rid of this over here.
Um, there we go.
There we go. Beautiful. So I just want to go through the trades here. By the way, people are interested to know this is social trader tool. So I match it to my small accounts. This is my small account over here, and then in my big account it is reflected. So December. Let's take a look over here. We started over here. So consistent gains. This is what you want to look for. Look at the wins. The wins are bigger than the losses, and you can see the percentage of the wins. Is pretty mad compared to the losers. So since the 26th of November, I've had one, two, three losses. Okay. And the rest were gains. So the consistency for me is key. But the one trade I'm going to focus on today is this one over here. Where was it? It was a GJ buy on the 14th. Here we go. So I got around about 10 pips over here, I think. Actually, no, I closed it at 7 to 8 pips, and there's a reason for this. So yeah, I'm going to go through this trade, very simple. But what first thing I'm also going to do is show you how I mark my charts. This is what I do every morning. I'm going to do it here. And I'm just going to show you how I break it down. So I start the charts here right in the morning. I do this every single day. Start on the daily time frame. The first thing I do is I always add the daily flip, and this is interesting because for two ways. First of all, it shows me where the direction is right now. So, for example, if this is London right now, the first thing I'll be showing here is that
You
the
call
daily.
that your daily flip? Basically, it's your daily close.
Yeah, daily close. Yeah, now because of the time. If this was London Open, it would be the flip. So if price comes down
Okay.
over here, it'll be closed in red. But yeah, if this is London Open, it'll be a bit more interesting. It's just now because this is just opened for the next day. It's like this. So yeah, the daily flip is here. So if price comes to 151271, this candle is flipping, showing a change in the higher time frame bias. Looking at the 4 hour as well, obviously it's going to be the same because it's just opened up. But the 4 hour would also be here, and I do this for the 4 hour. So my 4 hour is a blue line. Obviously, we've just opened up a new daily, so this is why the 4 hour is the same as the daily right now. But normally it looks like this. So both time frames will be bullish in this aspect, and I'll be looking for buys. So then what I'll do over here is I'll go to the lower time frames, and now I'll start marking my zones. Marking up zones is very easy. I mark my zones on the 15-minute time frame. I don't do any higher because the 15 can show me certain areas where maybe the 30-minute looks clean, but if you drop down, there could actually still be support. So what I can still say here is there's a lot of traffic, not traffic, sorry, a lot of bad price action here. This is because it's the end of the day, but if this is London, this is what I'll be saying. And my support for me would be here. So the reason why I put it at 183 is because if I put it here at 244, there's too many wicks to the left here to make that a nice support. It's nicer to have it where there's clean candles. Where does support hold? 180. Pretty simple. And for me, resistance, I'd use a 15-minute as well. Resistance, you can see, is at 438 right here. And if this candle closes in 15 minutes time, it may be quite good to take a setup over here. And now I'll be like, right, look at the daily. So the reason why I have this daily in the 4 hour, right? Let me just go
Hey,
with this.
Max, can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
So, basically, you don't do your zone on higher time frame. You all do your zone on 15 minutes.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Just want to make
so I
sure.
do my zone of 15 minutes, but I always look at the 4 hours and how they're acting. So, for example, where were we a couple days ago? Let's take a look over
And
here.
by the way, guys, if you didn't smash the like button, I mean, come
Mm.
on, smash that like button because I mean, Max is dropping gems right now. So I mean, come on,
Yeah,
guys, just give
man.
show some love here. All right.
So yeah, a couple of days ago on the 14th, we were in this zone. For me, I was being cautious in this zone. I knew that we were in a range, a higher time frame range on the daily. You can see here, we're ranging between 155.41 and all the way down to these lows. And you can see we're printing kind of, I call this a barcode. It looks like a barcode from the supermarket. It means you could scan it and probably get a nice apple out of it or something. So not the best price action. Shows that price in the higher time frames is ranging. So when we were in this zone over here, I was also looking at the price action, and it was very, very hard for me to trade in here. There was big wicks everywhere. So I was being cautious in this area, to be honest, and didn't take many trades. I think I got a little GJ buy here. But because we're out now, clean candles for the daily time frame coming up, we could potentially continue to fill this maybe back up to 152.450 in the next couple daily candles, which would be pretty nice because we've rejected the lows again. Look where we've tapped again. We couldn't close below. I said if we close below like this area, 149,167, we're going to go downtown, potentially back to this zone again. But we couldn't. We've retraced back up. We've made the support again. So we should continue back. Clean candles to the left on the left-hand side here and here. So it's going to be looking pretty good for the next couple of days, I think, potentially. So yeah, let's just go back over here. Now I've got my zones, and as I say with the daily and the 4 hour, I always have them marked. And what I really want to do is keep with their bias. Okay, so if I have the daily time frame like here, it's not too bad because I'm looking for sells potentially below 176 if you get closures below, and that'll be good because I'll have the daily time frame with me. So when I have these daily flips here, it means on the lower time frames I don't have to keep on switching to the 4 hour and the daily to see where they are. I can see in my head where the daily is right here just from this
Yeah,
15-minute
that's
time
smart.
frame. Yeah, so it's nice to see. So when price comes down over here, I know that the higher time frame, the daily, is starting to flip, and then we can look. So I always say, if you're looking for sells, make sure your 4 hour time frame is bearish. Really, there's some cases where it isn't, but most of the time, I like keeping the higher time frames with me. And what I kind of describe it to people is, if you have the higher time frame with you, it's giving you that push. So we're bullish right now. If you do continue here, you'll feel a more of a push, and this is why price comes to my TP pretty quickly with momentum. If you're going counter trend, so if you take sells here with the higher time frames bullish, you'll feel a kind of a pressure, and it'll be a lot slower against you. So for example, if you're trying to take a sell over here, you'll feel a pressure holding price up. That's what I kind of cause it as, or like, I like Star Wars. It's kind of like a force, which is, it's not moving. It doesn't mean a trade can't work. It means price will move a lot slower. That's what I've seen. So I always keep the 4 hour with me. Even better if it's the daily. If the daily though is like really, really, really bullish, and I'm still looking for sells, I won't even touch it because I really want to keep the higher time frames with me. And then the 15-minute is where I get the entries. So in this setup right here, if this was London, I'll be waiting for a closure above. Okay, a closure above is what I'll be looking for. So I have all my setups over here. I'll show you them all, but they're pretty consistent. I'll show you them over here. So this is what normally happens in NY. I have support for winning, but through London, and this is just from back testing and practicing. This is normally the setup for London, and this is normally the setup for London as well. So normally a closure. I wait for the bottom wick. So this is the confirmation we're leaving the zone. A closure above. Wait for the bottom wick to form, and then I'm going to enter either on exceeding the high or the flip, depending on the stop loss. If I can have my stop loss here, great. If not, it'll be on the low. It's just formed,
Mhm.
and then that'll be the entry candle. Same for
And
sales.
those snapshot are from 15 minutes or 30
Yeah,
minutes?
both. So it can be both. If the 15 looks good enough and it has enough time in this candle to move, then I'll do it. If not, I'll wait for the 30. So it's all about the timing of candles. Yeah.
So
So if
you don't got a lot of fake outs on London on 15
no,
minutes?
no, because I wait for
That's
the low
crazy.
wick. Because I
Okay.
wait for, there is a lot of fake outs. If you go on my live streams, you'll see a lot of fake outs, but I haven't entered yet. And this is why I say every single time, wait for the top wick or the bottom wick. Because holy shit, the amount of times that price will come down here, I'm waiting for the bottom wick, and then price will just continue back down into this zone. People go, oh, I just got faked out. I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't even enter yet. It's make the low wick. We know candles make low wicks and top wicks. Then when we start flipping and exceeding the high, you've got the confirmation you're leaving this zone and going to the next zone. So for sure. And then just to show you a little bit through NY, normally this setup through NY is this. So normally this, right? This here is London every single
Yeah.
time. This is 9:30 between 11:30 my time. So I don't know what time that would be for you. Have no idea. This is 9:30 to 11:30. This is where I don't take trades because volume normally relaxes. And then at 11:30, 12 o'clock, pre-NY, we get the push
Yeah.
again. So it
Well, this
happens
is what
every
I've
single
been,
time.
you know, this is basic, you know.
Yeah.
This is a classic break and retest,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. So same thing for resistance forming, and this is normally the NY setup. I also have a couple other,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
yeah, I know. I also have a couple other setups which I
Like, to
actually
be
do.
honest, if I see something like that, I'm like, fuck it, I'm full margin, baby.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's like, let's go.
So these ones are quite nice setups,
Yeah.
and these are kind of fake outs, which I will happily take. And take a look over here. So I'll only be interested in taking these trades. So, for example, if you get a push over here in London, price comes down. I'm waiting for some support to form to buy this bitch back up. But
Mhm.
sometimes we get a confirmation that we're closing back in the zone. And I always say, if we close back in a zone, we're going to fill the zone up. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll wait for this candle to make the top wick, which then confirm that we're rejecting this zone again. When we start flipping, we'll continue. But look what I have over here. The daily flip and the 4 hour. Not much the daily, but I will only enter this counter trend really if I have the 4 hour with me. Okay. If we're coming back into that zone because we have broken above, I need the 4 hour with me, and normally I get in
Yeah.
on the flip of the 4 hour, which is also the flip here. So yeah, that happens
Because
quite a
you're
lot,
gonna
and
be
these
breaking 4 hour low.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, exactly.
So
Yeah, that makes
this is
sense.
this is a really nice setup. And then my last one is from Controller FX, which he calls a celery play, which is quite a cool setup. And this is normally, so I'll talk about the celery. So this happens every so often. I like this one more actually. It happens with cells quite a lot,
Looks
where
like booby trap.
price
So
so yeah, so what happens is over here, and this is on the 50 minutes, so I'll explain it in a sec. So what happens is where price closes, doesn't close below, but closes quite weak. Now, the only reason I'll take this trade is because of what this candle looks like here. The candle has to be weak on the body, so the body has to be very, very small, and it has to have a wick to the top rejecting it. So prices came back in the zone, it's pushed back below and going, you know what, I don't like this. If this candle here closed strong, I mean, I wish I was on Zoom because of Zoom I could draw. But if this is a big body candle back in the zone, I wouldn't dare take it. Okay, but it's because of the wick of the candle, and then if we get the price to come down, exceed the low, this will also be flipping the 30. So I only do this in the 15 because the 30 will be looking clean.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't do the setup on the 30 barely ever. Control FX does do it on the 30, but I don't because I just don't like how a 30 is closed in the zone and hasn't closed above. But the 15, I'll happily take this as long as the candle here, so you can see in this aspect, the body of the candle is very very small and the wick is large in the zone, rejecting it, and I'll get in exceeding the high with stop loss below. Um, that doesn't happen every so often. It's a rare occasion, but it does work quite nice on GJ every so often. And on gold, gold's quite good with that one.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
cool.
I'll go through and then yeah, I'll sort of wait for a closure, wait for them setups. Very very simple, high probability setups, and it's harder in process. And I'll go through the trade that I did a couple of days ago. So let me just get where it was over here. So it was on the 14th. And it was buy 152.44. Okay, so
Let me just check very quickly if we had some question here. Um, let's see here. It's also broken previous low and previous high with London or textbook scalp. Okay. I mean,
I've got a little
okay, that's good.
mumble here. I think it's better now. Okay. Oh, I can hear myself again now.
You
For
can
some
hear
reason.
yourself in the echo.
Wait, one sec. It's better now. Okay. I don't know what happened there. So this candle over here is where I entered. Where was it over here? It was on the 15-minute. Let me just go back. So yeah, so you can see over here. What is the first thing you see here, Sasha, with these candles?
Which one?
All of these. What's the kind of the gist of this? It's not the nice, is it? There's a lot of
No, it's
wicks. It's
well, it
pretty
just
flat.
broke out of consolidation.
Yeah. Broke out of consolidation over here, which is the trade that I potentially take over here. But the actual wicks and the bodies are not nice. It's not clean like something
No,
like
no,
this.
no, no.
It's
We're not
pretty.
trending.
Yeah, it's not nice, is it? But so coming into the market, I already knew that. I knew that price isn't moving nice. I would just call this bad price action. Doesn't mean I can't take any trade, but I'm cautious. I'm more cautious compared to clean candles here, compared to clean candles here. It's giving me a bit of warning signs before I even get in, and that's just from experience, knowing that if you see candles like this. So what I mean by this is, look, this candle here is exceed the low of the previous, exceed the high. This candle here exceed the lows, exceed highs. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
not nice.
terrible.
Yeah, it's not nice. So knowing that, I came into the markets a bit cautious, but we did have closures above, and it was looking pretty nice to continue. So what I actually saw over here was this candle over here closing. So for me, I drew a support, resistance here, and I drew a support over here. Okay, nice. And we got the closure above. So that's what I wanted. That's the confirmation. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then I tried to enter over here. So I think it was, let me just check what time it was. I'm just going to check if this is right. This is on the 14th. Yeah. Let me just take a look over here what time this was. So where was the time?
Hey, wait a second.
11, 9, 10. Beautiful.
Give me one second here. I'm about to stand up desk to my wifey. I should use that.
That's sick. So I entered. Yeah, this is
Here
good.
we
This is
go.
good. Okay.
Let's go.
Nice. So yeah, we've got the closure above over here, which is looking good. And what I did over here is wait for this bottom wick to form. This is textbook trade that I like. And then price continues over here and flips. Now, actually, on this time frame, it actually looks pretty good, and it ran pretty nicely. But the way I got into this trade was a lot harder than I thought. But yeah, let's just take a look over here. So I get into the trade over here. The low wick is formed. I get in on the flip of the candle because of where my stop is. So my stop is very, very tight. So let's take a look over here. My stop is 7 pips. Very, very tight stop loss. But because I've got the London volume with me and a strong candle closure, I was happy to take this trade. And price continued to push over here pretty nicely. I don't think this is the right trade. One second. Let me find this over here. I'm trying to think if it's the one above. Let's take a look. Too many GJ trades over here.
Hey, that's
244,
good, man.
244. I got out one. Yeah, it was that one, 244.
But I really want you, Max, to don't feel like you have nothing to prove, man.
Yeah, on my thing. I'm trying
Remember
to think.
that. You got nothing to prove to anyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm trying to see. So yeah, basically, let me just go through this again. So got the closure. We waited for the low wick. We continued. I had a nice 7 pip stop over here, and price continued. It moved very, very choppy. It wasn't the nicest, but I knew that was going to happen because price wasn't moving the nicest. It was at 9 a.m., which is a nice time to take the last trades. Normally, and this is a really good example. 9:30 is my cutoff. I do not take any trades after, and this is a prime example. Look at this: 9:30, price comes back, retests, and rejects the highs. The volume drops off, and then later on, look at what happens again: 10:30, 11 o'clock, price comes in with volume, and we start to
That's
push.
9 a.m. your time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 9 a.m. my time. But yeah, price ran off of here. It did move quite choppy. So that's when I dropped down to the 5 minute. And I'll try and see where I went in over here. Let's take a look. I'm trying to move back around to find the 5 minute. But yeah, because price moved off over here. But what I was worried about was that price was not moving the nicest for me. It was pushing in and out of profit. It was kind of very, very quick. So for me, what I kind of do here, right? So my stop was 7 pips, but I go, that's not enough. I want to be able to tighten this even further. And that's when I looked at the 5 minute over here and I went, you know what? We're leaving this zone now. So I can kind of see the zone from here, this 5 minute zone here. This is the zone we're in. I don't want to be coming back into this zone anymore now. We're pushing off. So for me, I wanted to cut half right around when price was going to come back into the zone. So you can see here is where the resistance is. Here is where the support is. I don't want this price now, these candles here, to come back into this zone. We've left the zone. We've got a closure above on the 15, as we know. But to manage my risk, already it's at 7 pips, which are beautiful. But I want to tighten it even further. Why would I hold this trade in if this candle comes back into the zone? I wouldn't. So for this time, if I put in a position, I take 50% off. So normally use a yellow candle over here. And I did this. I say take off 50%. at this point, and I use magic keys to do this, by the way, and very, very simple at this point. And then all my signals as well are all put in the chat. So I'll close 50% off at this time. So we go back to the 15-minute, and you can see price did run off. It took a lot of time than expected, but then did push off nicely towards the end of that 15. And I think around about this time over here was good. I held this actually on the whole time. This kind of closed a bit weak, but I was still happy because you still got the closure above, and I was happy to continue with the trade. And then price ran to full TP, and I took my position off over here around about 12 pips, 13 pips. So it's quite a nice trade eventually because we got that closure above, but the wicks of the candles were scaring me, and that's why I was going to manage my risk. So you can see already the risk management from the stop loss being tight anyway, from the low of the wick, which is why I liked it on the 15 with the current candle. And on the flip, I entered, and I was going to reduce my losses already at around about 5 pips. So it's always about managing your downside, which has really, really helped me. And I could do, countless trades that I've gone on the live stream. I'll try and find some on my Instagram, actually, of certain trades. I'll show you that recap on my Instagram anyway, from start to finish. Let me just take a look over here. So this is it. This is the trade. I think I have some news over here. So there we go. So here's one as well. So I got the closure above, just like we said. And you can see here my stop is on the low. Beautiful stuff. Price comes up over here. I enter on the flip. I think I got slipped in. This is why it's a bit higher than I wanted. But price was moving a bit, scarce over here. And I did say, so if you listen, 1 second. So it closed half over here at around about 5 pips. Yeah. And then you go along. Look. So look at this. Ready? Listen. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to move my full stop loss. So this is the 5-minute, like I showed, because price is not moving. So if you go to most of my trades that are working nicely, this should be already at TP, man. This is taking a lot of time. So my probability in my setup is not 100%. I'm not happy with it anymore. So even though in the basis of holding the full stop loss, it could still be reasonable, I don't want that, man. I don't want to hold the full stop when I know in my head this is not as profitable as a normal trade I take. So I'm always tightening. So look, given the opportunity to push, but I'm moving my stop loss to 5 pips. There we go. And there you go. So from start to finish on a trade which wasn't going the nicest way, I still gave it the chance to run, but I was always tightening my stops. And I do this countlessly on my trades. I always try and tighten my stops as tight as possible over here because it really, really helps. See, look here as well. Close 50% at this level. That's at around about 5 pips, which is the top wick of the current. So look over here. So there we go. I'm also saying this 15-minute candle. So my sell stops here at 149.602. It's made the top wick of this candle. We're starting to flip now. And I'm saying if this candle closes in 4 minutes time, so my full stop loss is going to be above the previous. But when this candle closes, I'm going to move my stop loss to now the current 15. Because why would I hold the previous when the next one's closed? It doesn't make sense to me. If it breaks the high of the current one, the probability of you making that trade now is very, very low. So I'll show you that as well. And this one, pretty simple. So there we go. So can you see straight away I'm in profits pretty much instantly?
Yeah.
So because you get in on the flip, I get in on the power when the volume comes in, and you can take a look over here. But another thing that I learned from Raja is focus on the downside. Don't focus on the profits and when it's going into profits and how far it's going to run. Focus on how to manage the trade. And I tell you from start to finish, how am I going to manage this trade over here? So yeah. So my stop is on the high. The wick of the candle now should not come and exceed its own current wick. So that's why I'm closing 50% over here. And there we go.
So you did close 50% there.
Huh?
You did close 50%?
No. So that 50% was set after it's been made. It hasn't came back.
Okay.
Yeah. But now it shouldn't come back and go to that level now. It's already made the top wick now. It shouldn't come back to there. So yeah, that's where I would close 50%. You can see now it's starting to drop. But look what I'm going to say now. Look at this candle. The 15 minutes just closed bullish. Bearish. Closed below as well. Looking pretty good to continue. But I'll say over here, I'm going to move my full stop loss to now where 50% is, because that's the current, the previous 15 now. So I'll show you in a sec. So, the 15 is closed. Why would we have the full stop loss now when we can have 15? If it, there you go. So pretty simple.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. That is actually perfect. Where I have a problem is when some people like over manage their risk. They
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
true.
smoking the trade. That
Yeah,
is when
I
sometimes
think
you
it
gotta
depends.
leave, you gotta leave the trade breathe a little bit.
Yeah,
But yeah, that
I
way that's perfect because if it breaks the high of that 15, that's a pretty good chance it's gonna go against you.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So now look, it's coming to round about 7 pips, 6 pips profit over here. Stop loss to break even. Profit over here, guys. Stop loss to break even.
Love it.
And then it runs nicely. But yeah, so that's from start to finish. Most of my trades are like that. I don't really get much drawdown. It's pretty much in profit straight away. And yeah, so
That's good, man.
pretty simple, man.
Way
Pretty
to go,
simple way of
bro.
working. It's not hard. The way I trade, I could teach you the basics of it pretty much in the space of a month. It's the whole process of managing the trade and the emotion side. That takes a lot
Dude,
longer.
trading doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah,
Trading
man.
has to be simple. And when I had the discussion with Charlene, she called herself, Simple FX Academy, and I was like, this is so true because trading should be simple.
Yeah,
I'm not saying easy because this is the fucking hardest thing I have to do. I'm 40
hmm
years old now. And to be honest, dude, I got startup company, I got some nice company, I got like all
hmm
kind of stuff, and this
hmm
is the hardest thing I had
Wow,
to do, you know.
it's mad.
So, dude, I had to do all kind of stuff, dude. I started my first business when I was 21. I did some MLM, I did some traditional business, I did some door to door, I did all kind of shit. But I'm
Mm,
swear to God, this is the hardest thing to do. But it's not the most complicated thing to do. You
yeah,
know, it's all here. It's
exactly.
all here. So yeah, if you can manage that, you're good. So
Sure.
so we're gonna end this, and I'm just gonna break down this trade from this today because I had a shitload of question. So I just want
Beautiful.
to put it very simple.
That's
Uh,
fine. Well, I might have to head off because I need to get some sleep. It's like
yeah,
2
that's
a.m.
good,
here.
man.
But
Hey, I
it's been
totally
amazing.
totally appreciate you to come in on this stream. It
Yeah, it's
was
been
really
amazing.
really good having you.
I'll definitely have
Really
another catch up
appreciate.
for sure, my man. I'll definitely
Hold
come
on, wait a
on.
second. I don't see you anymore. Where are you gone?
I think I'm still here. I still see myself.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. So yeah, so no, thank you so much,
Been a
Max.
pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It was amazing.
And I
We
hope
need
the
to do this
best.
again.
Yes,
Um,
for sure. We'll come and have another a catch up in a couple of months. Yeah.
cheers, bro.
Right. Cheers, my boy. I'll see you later, my man. Thank you
Take
very much.
care.
Peace out, guys.
Have a good
Thank you very
night.
much for seeing us.
Take care, buddy. Oh, I think he got caught off pretty quick. So, all right. So, we're gonna break down that GA trade very quickly because we've been doing some overtime right now. Let's see here. Let's see some question very quickly. How do you set your TP? Let's see. What's up? Show the pack. Maybe you should learn from Max instead of Raja. He's a better teacher. Maybe. All right. So, but the thing is, I didn't learn everything from Raja. I learned some stuff from Raja, but most of my learning are from different people. All right. So let's do this. So hold on, wait a second here. Perfect. Okay, so you guys can see my screen right here. So basically this was GA trade, okay? GA, this was my zone. Okay, so let's do this. So if you look on a daily time frame, I mean, you see that price made a new high, price came down, formed support, and we need to go retest this high right there, right? Um, and yeah, so basically really simple on a 4 hour time frame. So I'm gonna try to do that pretty fast here. Let me just scroll that right here. Why the fuck is this? Here we go. Perfect. Okay. So nice. So price was going up. So price made a new high. Okay. So if you know, like I placed my fib level right here, from here to here. All right, from bottom to top on the H4. So that gave me a golden zone right here between the 50 and the 618. So I was looking to an entry here or at the safety net, which is the 0.764. So if you go down on the lower time frame, I finally had a support form and on H1. So H1 support was really nice. I was actually looking at 30-minute also. If you look at 30-minute, we had a nice candle here, nice a small candle, but I was waiting for the H1. So basically, I waited for the H1. My idea was to take the entry if it was an engulfing candle right here. So it was not engulfing candle. So what I did is I waited for price to break the high right here, put my stop right above the active candle right here. So at a stop of 19 pips. My target, my final target was at 86 100 right here, but I was securing profits, most of my profits at this major QP. Okay, so never happened, but I always secure profits. 80% of my profits is been secured at 15 pips. So price went, basically we broke the high, and if you see, price went up to whoop, right here, 15 pips. This is where I closed 80%. And when I was just before the major QP right here, when I start retracing around like 21 pips, this is where I closed another 50%, and the rest of the runner got stopped at break even, basically. Um, and the reason why I was going for buys, if you see, we were like creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And I knew on the higher time frame on H4, we need price to come down, form support in this area to push back up. But hey, you know what? Price just fucking melt and break the structure now. So, oh well. So tomorrow, probably going to be looking for shorts because now we broke the structure on H4. So if you look, I mean, we broke this low, we broke this low. So I mean, we're probably now going to start trending down. And if you look on a high time frame on daily, if you look here, we just failed on creating a new high. So now we failed on creating a new high, and we did create a new low. So what happened now? So now tomorrow you got to looking for opportunity to create a new low, and to continue down simply. So if you focus on market structure, it's going to be so much easier for you guys. Look at market structure on daily H4 and take your entry on a lower time frame, and that should help you a lot. So anyways, so let me stop sharing here. All right, perfect. So hopefully that can help some people. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, for being there for like what, an hour and 40 minutes. Holy crap. This was pretty good. I'm really excited about that stream. It was really, really good. Let's see if we have any last comment or question. Let's see. Okay, perfect. All right, so thank you very much for watching, guys. Very appreciate. This was the last trading session we had on Tuesday. So tomorrow I'm not streaming because usually I do stream live for NY session on Tuesday and Thursday morning. I usually start between 6:30 and 7. This just depends if there's move or not. But yeah, I do stream live Tuesday and Thursday. The rest of the days, I do stream live with my students. And I do Forex talk over beer over Wednesday night and Friday night. All right. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure. It was amazing. Thank you so much to Max from Stop Loss Matter. It was amazing. And um, stay tuned because next Forex Talk Over Beer probably gonna be with Stefanos. So we're gonna try to get him on with Sharma FX. So yeah, it should be fun. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you did subscribe to the channel, activate notification. All right, guys. Thank you so much once again. Can't wait to see you in 2022. It's going to be an amazing, amazing year. I'm sure of it. So make sure you activate notifications so you know next time we go live. Thank you guys and take care.